What's the old saying? Numbers don't lie. Babe Ruth, Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, especially when it comes to sports, those numbers help you stand out as one of the greats. In the world of NASCAR, wins and championships determine your status. Richard Petty, at 200 wins and 7 championships, along with Dale Earnhardt, 76 wins and 7 championships, and Jimmy Johnson and his 83 wins and 7 championships, are going to cement their status as the all-time greats in NASCAR. But in the world of Cup, there's only 2 drivers who have hit double-digit victory totals. Richard Petty is the first, and David Pearson is the second. Richard Petty scored his 100th Cup win August 22nd, 1969 at Bowman Gray Stadium. By that time, David Pearson had 56 wins. Much hoopla was made about the King's century mark, but not much was made about the Silver Foxes. So why don't we take a look at his 100th win in the NASCAR Cup Series in 1978. Some folks may ask, well, why are you doing David's 100th win and not his 105th? Well, both are important, but every time David won a race, he would keep upping the mark for second place. And there's only 2 drivers that went to 3 digits in the wins column in the Cup Series. Now, we mentioned David's win total in 1969, and though he did win the championship that year, he was kind of on a downward trajectory, as 1970, Holman and Moody and he only won 1 race. In 1971, they only won 2, and the factories pulled out of NASCAR with their funding. David left to go drive for Chris Vallow and had all sorts of problems in his Plymouth and Pontiacs until he hooked up with the Wood Brothers in early 1972. Now, David and the Wood Brothers didn't run for the title, but the year prior, he won race 99 at Darlington, his 8th in his career. With much anticipation of number 100 looming, he also would have to deal with a local favorite outside of Rockingham, Ellerbe, North Carolina's own Benny Parsons. Yes, Benny was born in the Wilkes County region of the western end of North Carolina and then grew up helping his dad at the taxi stand in Detroit. But when he went to drive for L.G. DeWitt, that team was based out of Ellerbe, and that was right up the road from the Sandhills track of Rockingham. So yes, when David and the Woods boys showed up, it was almost a lock, but not this season, not with old Benny Parsons in that number 72 First National Cities Travelers Checks Chevy from right up the road, and he was hungry for a win at Rockingham, and even said so to the press. Sort of jokingly, he said he'll never win a race at his home track, and was quoted as saying, "I'm taking an entirely different approach to this race than I ever have before. I'm going into it as if it were Dover, Charlotte, or Nashville. I'm going to be complacent and calm. I absorb that stuff too much. I've got to make up my mind this is not the Rockingham race." In the first 3 races of the 1978 campaign, Benny finished 2nd at Riverside, 3rd at Daytona, and then won Richmond, and was only 5 points out of the series lead behind defending champion Cale Yarborough. But when teams rolled in for the 4th race of the season on March 5th, it was Neil Bonnet who took the pole at 141.940 miles per hour, while Benny Parsons was 6th at 140.067, and David Pearson was 9th at 139.300 miles per hour over the 36-car field. However, at the start of the 492-lap race, Darrell Waltrip led lap 1, and David didn't lead until the 126th circuit around. From there, it looked to be a Pearson rout, because he led 219 more laps and looked to be en route to 100. Unfortunately, BP's strategy wasn't working. However, he almost had a major outcome on the race, because with 40 laps to go, he and David touched, and Pearson went spinning through turn 1. However, he only dropped to 3rd, recovered quickly, and repassed Benny a few laps later to regain the lead. David crossed the line 1.3 seconds in front of Bobby Allison, and Benny Parsons was third. And then Victory Lane explained, back when I won 98 a year ago January, I never thought it would be until September in the Southern 500 for number 99, or until now for number 100. As with anybody that gets to Pearson's age, he had to fight off whispers that he was washed up and too old. He said, I'm going to get to work now, next week, on the second 100. And that's enough. I'll take it. That's one I'm glad to have out of the way.